Cohong is a large-scale production facility, brand development center, job training center, resource center. Half of what we call the Cannaplex project. The Cannaplex project is a 106,000 square foot warehouse that's in East Oakland, in a neighborhood that's very heavily affected by the war on drugs. And we've been installing businesses in here, equity eligible businesses, as well as other brands that have a good following, to create a collaborative cannabis community where we take the best of breed among the brands and producers in the cannabis industry, and we bring them along with people from the neighborhood who are breaking into the cannabis industry on the regulated side, and everybody kind of helps everybody else.
My name is Gloria Slack. I am the Chief Administrative Officer of the Cohong. I oversee the inventory department, where we keep our quarantined inventory as well as the things that are ready to go out to retail. And then everything in between, the weighing, the counting, the packaging, the labeling, which is always really important. Then, of course, what they call the last mile delivery, getting it actually out to the consumer or the retailer. Step one would be the producer, the cultivator, bringing the bulk product to us, usually is what happens. At that point, that gets weighed out. And the next step is, once we weigh it out and determine exactly how much we have in grams, we have to send it out for testing. The lab sends one of their techs out. They take the samples and then bring it back to their labs, and usually within 48 to 72 hours, they will come back with the test results, either pass or fail. So then after the lab comes back with a pass, then we figure out, okay, what are we going to do with it? How are we going to sell it? What most people will do is take their bulk pounds and break them down into eighths and sell them that way. And so then they have the option to do it with a jar, a can, or a bag. That gets put into our packaging and weighing container. I have 3 guys in there. Big James is the packaging manager. Their job is to weigh out the eighths and then package them accordingly. If it's in a bag or a jar, then they sit and then they wait for their labels. Either the cultivator or the producer comes with their own design and their own packaging, which we then put on for them, or they ask us to help them out. The last packaging option is the can, and that one's a little bit different. Here we're partnered with N2 Packaging, which is a nitrogen flush canning system. So what we do is, once it's been weighed out and put in the cans in the packaging container, then it gets taken to the canning container, which is a separate spot all on its own. It gets run through the machine, nitrogen flushed, then sealed, and then it gets sent through to the labeler. Then we put on the CR lids, and then it's ready to market. Once that's decided, we put the results from the testing on what we call the COA, or Certificate of Analysis label. And that breaks down the THC percentages, the CBD percentages, the servings per package, milligrams per serving, that kind of thing. Once that's done, then they can go into our inventory and put on our menus for both B2B, business to business, or B2C, business to consumer. We have our own delivery service, so we are able to do a little bit of our own business to consumer. That's Cohong Direct, and then the rest goes to B&B, and we reach out to dispensaries like Barbary Coast, Green Door, those kind of places, so that they can put it on their menus and then sell it to their consumers. I love what I do. I love the people that I meet. I love that this is like the Wild West right now. To be a woman of color and have a position of authority in this growing company is truly a blessing.
And I've loved cannabis since 8th grade. The first time my buddy, swiped some from his mom and we smoked it, rolled up in some newspapers to make a little joint. Cannabis has been illegal in various stages since the 30s, and then especially when it went on Schedule 1 in the early 70s. That tool was basically used to decimate a lot of these communities that are, urban, largely African American, Latino. The city of Oakland announced the Equity Permit Program. It was a way for us to kind of partner with the city of Oakland in an informal way where we can create something really incredible here that is not just Oakland, but it's something where hopefully other people in other cities adopt the same kind of model. Having a local hiring and job training program, finding local entrepreneurs who want to start their own business and giving them space to do work, not just giving them space, but advising them. And it was just one of those things where you have a light bulb moment. We've just been, pedal to the metal since then, and it's been a hard road to get here. We just keep going. I'm not trying to do this to make a ton of money. I spent 20 years as a lawyer chasing money. What'll make me the happiest is even if it's not the Cohong, if I just see in all these other cities that there is a movement, a real movement and real progress made toward getting people from these neighborhoods spun up into the regulated market before they miss the boat. Like that's really what success looks like to me.